What did you make of it today, first of all, Harry?
Ultimately, a disappointing result, but I think in isolation, there's periods of the game that we can take positives from. I think we reacted incredibly well to come out in the second half and pen them in until their second goal, really. Obviously, we've looked back at the Hendo's goal and he's miles onside, so that's a frustrating one. But ultimately, you can't dwell on these things. And it was the first thing I said when we come back in after full time. It was, there's another game in 3 days, lads. So be disappointed. We come in tomorrow, analyse it, and we've got to pick ourselves back up quickly. There's another game to focus on, and we can look over it and analyse what we didn't do so well, and try and improve on those things moving forward. But come on.
Is it good though that you have Doncaster coming up and Barrow straight after that?
Yeah, 100%. There's nothing worse than losing a game and then a big break in between. It's terrible. So the fact that we have got a game in just over 40, three days, that's a positive for me. We've got to bounce back and try and go and put some points on the board.
What have you made of the group of players you've come in to play with? Because it was a bit of a curious egg in the match against Hartlepool. At times not very good, and at times excellent.
Ultimately, I think there's a good mix of experience and then young lads and legs and enthusiasm. I just think there's times in games where you've got to weather the storm, and ultimately I think we did okay today. It wasn't a game where we've come off and thought, we have been absolutely woeful. I just think it's just a disappointing one, especially being the first came back and after such a long period out, we get ourselves back to 1-1, and I think there's only one team who's going to go and win that game from open play, and ultimately the lads whipped the free kick in from 35 yards. You're going to take your hat off to him, but I think there's enough in this squad for me to go and pull us in the right direction. I really do think there is. The gaffer, we've missed each other about 3 or 4 times, trying to work with each other over the past sort of 4 or 5 years. So it's nice to actually get the chance to work with him. And I think the way he does things and the way he wants to do, as you probably will have seen today, there was some fantastic bits of football. Especially for the first goal. It's a great sweep and move up one side, across the pitch, down the other side, cross in, goal. So they're the positive we've got to take out of it. That the fact we can do those things, and the gaffer's top man, and I'm looking forward to working with him in the next few weeks, hopefully for a longer period of time. But I do think that we have enough.
You're kind of answering the question. What is it about it? Is it the experience? Is it the skill factor? What do you think? Because there will be Rochdale fans listening to this and thinking, hang on, we're second bottom of the table. Surely we're not going to get out of this.
I think if you look at the table and you put it down to a straight math equation, there's a few points in it. So it's 2 or 3 games on the spin, and you put yourself some breathing space in there. So it's not a great look if you look at it pure black and white. We're in the bottom 2, not great, but there's a decent squad of players here who all want to do well. We don't come in every day and work our socks off to not win football matches and to not try hard. Everybody who stepped on that pitch today has gave their best. Ultimately today, not good enough. But tomorrow when we come in, we'll all work hard again, we'll recover right, we'll analyse the game. The gaffer and Shaddy and Jevo will do what they think we need to do to prepare us for Doncaster, and we'll go and do that, and we'll go and try and win 3 points. And if we don't win 3 points at Doncaster, or we don't get any at Doncaster, we'll go against a Barrow. And we've just you can't dwell on a result, and you can't dwell on a bad run of form. You've got to at some point just think, put your hard hat on, put your head down, and just go and graft. And ultimately, I always believe, and I've always tried to play this way, good things will come if you work hard as a foundation. And ultimately, I do believe the lads work hard enough for us to get out of this. The only way you get out of this is through sheer hard work and determination.
You mentioned him, you mentioned the gaffer. You've worked with him before, you know him well, and it would appear you feel he's the right man to do this. He has the qualities to get this team out of it.
Definitely, yeah. He's operated at Morecambe for a number of years, and done really well with what he had to work with. So ultimately I think we've got a good squad and a good management team here to move in the right direction.
Your first game back after your time out, and disregarding the result, how did it feel on a personal note for you to be back out there?
it's hard to feel any slight bit of positivity after you get beat. It really is, and you know, we play football as footballers to win football matches, and we haven't done that today. However, I've been out for a very long time, and I think someone said it's like 324 days or something. So, you know, I have to sit back in a quieter moment and when I'm reflecting on my own performance and just take a little bit of stock and go, yeah, that was really enjoyable to be back out on a football pitch and, you know, ultimately put in a decent performance. Personally, you know, I think I did okay. I think there's definitely more to find from me. There's more in there personally. Once I get more minutes, it's ultimately, you know, match minutes is what I've needed, and I appreciate the gaffer and the club bringing me in and giving me a platform to do so. So very thankful for that. But yeah, it was nice to be back out there, nice to be back in the dressing room with the lads, and as I said, there's a good group here, a good management team, and we all want to do the right thing for the club, and we all want to pull the club in the right direction. So personally, happy to be back involved. But on a wider note, it's a disappointing day for the group, for the club, but we've got a chance in 3 days to go and put that right.
Have you ever been in a scenario similar to this where you've been working with a group of players who you felt were confident enough to get out of the situation they're in?
Yeah, last year at Gillingham, the group of players that were there were more than good enough, or you know, ultimately got relegated on goal difference, which was hard to take, and obviously the injury ruled me out for the last 3 months of the season. But I think the lads pulled back a 10-point deficit or something to go down on goal difference. So, you know, you look at the course of a season, think where could you have picked up another point to stay up? And there was so many opportunities, so many games we couldn't grab a goal, or you know, you couldn't hold on, and you know, I get the exact same feeling from this group. This group of players is too good to get relegated from this league, in my opinion. Other people might see different, and you know, it's been an interesting time coming up with the window opening, things like that. You know, that's a volatile time for any football club, and you know, I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. But you know, I think back over my career, and there's been a couple of times where I've been in groups of good players, and you think, how are we not doing better than what we did? You know, I think back to, you know, it's completely like a different spectrum, but the year that I was at Stockport and then went to Peterborough in the league, we didn't even get the playoffs. The group of players that we had, we were just like, how have we not made the playoffs? It was just baffling when you look back on it in hindsight. And I'm trying in my older years to voice these opinions to the younger lads and just basically say, listen, it's time to stand up and be counted. We don't want to be looking back in the summer and going, oh, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have just give it that little bit extra. And ultimately, I don't think that's the issue. I really don't. The lads have worked really hard in the past couple of weeks to get ready for this game, and ultimately we've just fell a little bit short from a piece of magic and a free kick. Really, it's a wonderful free kick, so you've got to take your hat off to him. But you know, I do believe that we'll pick up the necessary results to get out of this. I do.